Hello, everyone. Welcome inside the Red Earth Production Studios for another edition of YBMcast, powered by Game 7 Baseball, Game7Baseball.com. And the fellas should be finishing up in Nashville.
They should be back.
Finished up. Yeah, back.
Should be back. It's Tuesday.
Yeah, it is Tuesday, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what I know.
Yeah. They should have come back maybe Sunday night. Depends on how they were feeling.
Looks like they had a good time there and whatnot. So look forward. We're going to talk a little. Bit about some teams today. We're going clubbing in St. Louis, and we're going to talk a little bit about some of the 14U teams because that's what we're looking forward to. We're going to be live streaming the 14U championships on certain events with Game 7 Baseball. So that brings us to that place right here. We're past the January 7th, the clubs. I hope you got your club discounts and all that in with Game 7 Baseball. We got one date left, February 7th for the 3 for 30.
4 for 40.
And 5 for 50. I love how he helps out. It's perfect.
All you have to do is look at me now, and now I know where my cues are. Finally got it after a year and a half. I never stopped trying. That's the thing, right?
That's it.
Yeah, just keep plugging away.
Just keep working.
Hey, so I got this is reminds me of something.
Sure.
Something that one of my coaches at the facility said the other day, and I loved it. So it was about thoughts versus action. And kids these days, we think about like when we give them a task to do, they have to think instead of act. And the whole process was pretty interesting how he explained it because, he's like, just let's do the actions so that the experience, you can learn from it instead of just thinking about it and then looking at everybody, standing around. And I just really, I really dug that. And so it just, in this moment that we just had, it was an action, and I didn't think about it.
Well, no, you thought about it because,
Not really.
Because you've been thinking about it. See, I disagree with that. I'm a thinking guy. I wish people would think more before they act.
So if I gave you a drill.
In the sense of, because the body follows the mind. You've heard me say that. I believe this very much. So we don't just want people to act because that's...
All right, you're going way too philosophical for me. I'm not going that deep.
Because
that's a big word for me. I bet I can't spell it
We
either.
want people to consider their actions. And I always believe that you always want people to engage the brain before they act. So I always say, hey, yes, understand what you need to do. Teach them how to engage the mind so that the body does act in the appropriate conduct, whatever you're doing, because that's what you're teaching. Even in muscle memory,
there's no such thing.
Okay, even in
the body follows the mind. Exactly.
It is muscle memory. So there, your mind is teaching your body how to do, and that's the thing that it all starts from here. So I know we're getting deep here, folks.
Yeah, I was just trying to leave it on the surface.
No. We don't do no superficial stuff around here.
No, it's surface. Surface only.
No,
let me ask you this question. All right, let me ask you this question. As a coach, former coach, if you gave your kid, you wanted them to do something, do you want them to take 5 minutes to think about it and then do it, or do you want them to kind of process?
If it took them 5 minutes to first process, it depends on how long we've been talking about it. And I think those are things. See, that's when you get into that. If you've been talking about this and understanding, and it takes them a few tries, and they work, and they think, okay, how do I? That's okay.
A few tries, though, but you're learning from your tries.
But that's
from
the thing.
Action.
So once the mind, but there's still the body then follows the mind because you've set yourself in that motion. So your mind doesn't have, your body reacts to what your mind's telling it to do. And the more you've learned how to do it the right way, the more your body understands your mind's telling you. Your mind is always telling your body what to do anyway. Your body doesn't act independently of your brain.
I agree. 100%.
So those are the things. So your reaction time is less the more you understand how the process works.
It's still maybe too deep for me. It was for my coach would tell me to jump, and I was in the air, and I just hoped that the water was deep enough that I didn't hit the bottom.
Lauren, we're gonna do this social shout out real quick because Jackson Carter, our dude from Zumwalt East, this kid is a really tremendous athlete. I'll show you because we don't have it here. Or Lauren, can you throw it up on the TV screen so he can see it when you do this? I want Mitch to see this while because I saw this on social media today. Here, Lauren, go ahead and play it.
Oh, he's going to do a box jump?
Watch this.
That's taller than he is.
You got to push play. Little.
What we have here.
It didn't want to play.
You should have just 2 seconds.
One.
All right.
1,000.
We're sorry, folks.
Two,
With a slight
1,000.
pause in the action here.
1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi.
You got to push it over. Yeah, she's got it now.
We're editing
You got to
this
go
part
over
out.
there and push it.
And go.
It didn't play over here. No. So that's okay.
Wow. We're going to pick up when it starts when we get this to work on.
We're having some technical difficulties.
This
folks,
is
sorry.
after we learn that the body follows the mind.
Hey,
Oh, we
there
got
it
the
is.
end of
Here it
it.
is. Here we go.
That's impressive.
Is that impressive?
That is. That's 3 boxes. That's taller than he is.
Yes, it is. And I know it's what, one? How many steps was that?
He took a running hop, but
I understand
give
it was
to
a
him.
running hop, but still, that's only like 4.
Good strides. No, I'm not taking anything away from that. That's impressive.
Isn't it though?
The fact that he's even against the wall and he sinks his hips down like that, that's a pretty good.
And here's the other thing, folks.
That is going to be shared, correct? Like so,
It's already out. It's on Instagram.
Well, I meant
or
the
Twitter.
fans. I meant our fans of the show that are going to watch the show.
Oh,
They'll be
you
able to
got
see
to.
this live. Or
Oh yeah,
in the
they're
recording.
seeing it right
Okay,
there.
perfect.
Yeah. That's what I was getting ready to say. You didn't even know I had this queued up, and then you throw this,
That's
So
an action.
we're going
That's an
deep,
action
baby.
versus a thought, though.
He's thinking about. He knows the mind is.
No, if he was
telling the
thinking
body
about it, he
what
would
to
have
do.
got afraid.
No.
It's all
Not
about
if-
perception.
No, then that's
I'm just
a matter
arguing
of-
to be arguing.
Yes, I know. But then that's a matter of confidence. If you're confident in yourself.
Of course he's confident. He's got orange shoes on, a white skull cap with green and tights on. I mean, he's Under Armour Nike'd out.
Jackson, don't listen to that, bro. You
No,
look good.
it's swag.
It
I had
is
a kid.
swag,
I had
isn't
I had a kid come in last night that he's on my 15U team, and he come in for lessons, and he walks in, and I mean he's got regular glasses on.
Mm-hmm.
Then he's got his sunglasses on backwards. He's got a skull cap on. He's got a chain hanging out. He's got a pink arm thing and a pink leg band. And I walk in there, and of course, old fashioned me, I'm like, dude, what's going on? And he's like, Coach, it gives me that little swag that I need to give me a little bit of confidence. I said, you know what, dude, wear all of the drip that you want to do. And he looked at me because I said drip, and I'm 40-something years old, and he's like, dude, that's not cool. I guess drip wasn't a word I should use. It's okay for the kids to use, but not me. But he had a great hitting
I use
session.
it if I want to.
Well, I mean, I used it, but he looked at me like I was ridiculous, and he's like, Coach.
Then why do you say it if is this the word for it or not? And that's what I would say to him. Is that the word for it or not, bro?
It was.
Because I can be cool too.
No, we're not.
Yes, we are.
No,
Dude,
not
I've been cool
really.
my whole life.
Not as the other side of the pillow.
All day.
Do you know where that's from?
All day.
Cool as the other side of the pillow.
Yeah, Stuart Scott.
Scott,
I love
yeah.
Stuart Scott.
R.I.P.
He was great. Had always one of the best lines. Although one of the best lines for a home run on a sports center is still I'm trying to remember his name. It just popped out of my head. But he was like, home runs, bartender, Jack.
that was Scott Van Pelt.
No, it wasn't Scott Van Pelt. I can see his face.
He had dark hair.
Yeah.
He has dark hair.
But that's
he
the best
did
one.
Chris, not Chris. He did Monday Night Football the national championship game last night, right?
No. It's not him. We'll look. We'll get it.
Okay.
We'll play it. But, because you can do that. Because if you hit a 2-run bomb, then it's bartender, Jack, a double. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, you can add to that one.
But
That
see,
one-
that's
that one
cool.
works.
But we wouldn't be cool with today's generation.
I don't care.
Well, I don't
They
either.
need to
I yell at
wise
them.
up. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
I'm just telling you, kids, we're still cool.
But
So let's talk baseball.
Coach Hill was talking about that young man the other day. 'Cause I saw Coach Hill at the hitting zone because his PBA team works out there.
Right.
He's excited about that young man.
I'll tell you, he works as hard as anybody. I got a chance. I stopped over at the Midwest Futures facility, and he was there working. I really like Jackson. He's a good kid, and it's fun to talk to.
Yeah, these 14-year-olds that are moving into high school need to pay attention to what some of these upperclassmen are doing and how their work ethic is, whether or not it's in a development program like ACE or elite pitching or elite velocity or whatever that is, or the hit labs or any of those kinds of things. They are working their tails off, and they don't stop. It's 5-6 days a week. They're at the gym. They have gym memberships. They are training to be superior athletes, and it shows. It shows on the field. It shows between the lines, on the court, wherever these kids are playing their sports. They're dominating.
And I think that's one of the things that's really interesting, and hopefully we're going to get we're still, try to get as many guys as we can to come on the show and talk. I really enjoyed talking with Jake Depew from Hit Lab over there at the Sports Barn. I think he does a good job. You got Shane Eames down there, Premier Hitting Development. Elite Hitting down there, Todd Stein and his group. I think it's Tyler Michelle. They do a great job. You have, who am I missing? I'm sure I'm missing somebody.
On the hitting side of things or like pitching side? I mean, you have ACE and stuff like that.
The pitching yet,
but
that's
all we do on this show is hit dingers, though, right?
That's right.
We don't pitch. We just hit.
Pitchers are athletes, too. No? That's what Justin would tell you. It got quiet over there.
Let's go back. Let's go back to clubbing. You lost me when pitchers are athletes.
But Ace,
I'm kidding. Obviously, I'm kidding. Kyle Loesch, former Cardinal Kyle Loesch, could dunk basketballs. He could run. He could do so many different things. So obviously, I played shortstop. Look at Hunter Green.
Now there's some guys that look like accountants. And that's true.
And some of them ended up being accountants when they got out of high school and college.
Some of them look like they stopped more at the Krispy Kreme on the way to the, to the ballpark.
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah, and so.
And the hacienda on Woodson Road.
It was interesting. I think it was. I forget what day it was. It was over the weekend. MLB was showing the Game 1 of the 1988 World Series.
I was watching that, actually.
Yes, it was. And
that was on it late, like 7 o'clock at night kind of thing, wasn't it?
I think so, something. But I was watching that. I was remembering I was in San Juan, Puerto Rico. It was about 1 a.m. when he hit the dinger. I was losing my mind. And, that team, I remember that. That was just a crazy year. And then, I forget. I don't think people remember how dominant Oral Hershiser was.
Was that
year?
Was that the year that he had the scoreless
He had the
inning?
59 scoreless inning streak regular season. Then he pitched the first game in the championship and went 8 innings scoreless.
That's a game. Do you think that game that's the reason why the Dodgers won the World Series?
Absolutely. It was Oral Hershiser.
If they lose that game, do you think that the A's win the World Series?
Yes. Yes, I do. Yes.
You think that was a huge change in
I think it
confidence?
Just was like, what just happened? And Eckersley, who was lights out. I mean, Eckersley was lights out. When that happened, I think it just, the dynamics of everything just, because, they won that series 4-1. I mean, it was 5. I mean, it changed it. It definitely changed it. And Oral Hershiser pitched unbelievable. And there's my example. I mean, if you saw Oral Hershiser on the street at that time, he would look like, a
normal guy.
You're a public accountant or something.
A normal guy.
Right? Yeah.
Clark Kent.
Exactly. I think there is some reality to those things. You bet.
Oh, yeah. That's what's great about baseball.
Bulldog, man.
Yeah, that's what's great about baseball is that it doesn't have a size, a body type necessarily. Obviously, your middle infielders and center fielders.
It's become that way a little bit more.
Because of
in
fitness,
today's day and age.
Yeah, because of fitness is
yes,
more
I agree.
a thing. You know,
Yes.
the trying to prepare these athletes on the physical side of the game, and so you're seeing more, I guess, chiseled athletes or guys that are jacked, but. Even then, like the David Wells, the CC
But you'll
Sabathias.
still see the guy on the mound with the beer belly, right?
Oh yeah.
So I think that's just the difference in it.
You see guys like Rowdy Tellez, that what's his face that was at Pittsburgh
Who's
and
the kid at Milwaukee?
that's Rowdy's now.
Okay.
Rowdy Tellez. I can't think of his name, but there's a picture of the two of them together standing at first base. So the other guy played at Pittsburgh and then went to the Mets. He's also a left-handed hitter, and I swear that he wears like an extra large top and is like a 2X, maybe 3X jersey that he should be wearing.
Right.
For the life of me, I cannot think of this young man's name, but he just eats baseballs, and I know that it's at the highest level, but at the younger side of things, you could be a high school kid and be 250 pounds.
Right.
And play the game at an exceptional level,
Exactly.
So you can also be small. Just understand what your game is, and that's what I like about this sport. It doesn't define a skin color, a athletic build.
Absolutely.
What's between the ears is a big thing. I know, mind follows body.
We just went, dang.
Went back there. I beat you to the punch.
All right.
That's what we do here. We hit dingers. I just hit a dinger.
Pew.
Pew, pew.
Oh, man, it's Tuesday.
We're 10 minutes into the show and have yet to have a conversation about what we started with.
It's a good conversation. I think it's fun. I hope you all enjoy it.
They're off
if
the
you
cuff.
don't, I guess there you go.
Don't comment. Only
Yeah,
comment
but
good stuff.
There's the thing. Throw a comment below. What do you think about, that thought process, as an athlete? What are you looking to do? Do you look like an accountant and still want to pitch? That's okay too, right?
If they pitch like Oral Hershiser and look like an accountant, I'm having that guy on my team.
Or Greg Maddux. I mean, you saw him in the dugout with his glasses on.
So my favorite is still the Tom Glavine and Greg Maddux commercial with Mark McGuire, Heather Locklear, when the chicks dig the long ball thing, and they look like such dorks. And I just love because they still play it
the
every one.
Stereotype, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's
It
always
was
funny.
hilarious, yeah. And those things are fun.
Look at Randy Johnson.
Right?
He didn't look. I mean, I know that he was a mountain of a
tall.
man, but
Yeah.
he should have played center in the NBA.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I mean? He's 6'10" or something like that.
It just you just never know. You just never know. But we do have more technology today, training opportunities for training, and I think that goes back to your original point. Take advantage of some opportunities. Look into it. I know not everybody can afford things, but there's stuff online. There's things to look at if you're willing to work.
Yeah, actually, Jack Zimmerman from the U.S. Nationals he posted something online the other day about ankle injuries and things that are going on, and we were talking about that back and forth with a guy that's into fitness. He's a trainer and stuff like that, and we just talked about the differences between like what it was like for me growing up to the kids growing up these days, where I was always outside running around, playing different sports on the street, doing different things, and preparing my body, which I didn't know at the time I was doing. To not be injured. And so like guys these days, they only go outside to practice, like if in their sport, right?
Agreed.
So everything is sport specific, and you're seeing guys that will only, like if you're in a club that has weightlifting or classes like this, they're going in and only doing the week's desired. They only do it twice a week or whatever the time is giving. They don't do it outside of that. And then we're finding these kids who are having all these injuries. Work your tail off. Don't forget about
we're inside
running and
playing the video games.
Yeah, don't forget about running and jumping. Don't forget about shooting hoops every once in a while.
Kicking a soccer ball.
Yeah, getting things that the body's doing something different.
Play
to train.
tag, for crying out loud, right?
Yeah, I was never really good at tag. I can imagine like. My next door neighbor, funny story. So I was next door neighbors with Adam Shipley's dad, Tim Shipley, that is at Howe, that just took their team to football state. And we used to play tag all the time. So he had 3 older brothers, all went to the same high school, kind of all in the same time frame. All of them were lightning quick.
Yeah.
And we tried to play tag and like hide and go seek and stuff like that when we were kids. Man, I had to hide like in my house, like under my bed, under a bunch of sheets so they wouldn't find me. Because nobody ever picked me to like when we played basketball because I wasn't like super quick on my feet and they were really good. I never got picked like
Unless you were playing Red Rover, right?
no. No, if we were playing hockey, I was good because I cross-checked somebody and I would always fight with the Joe and his other brother. Wiffle ball or baseball. I could play tennis because you had to. I could at least run to the lines, in and out.
There's a game I played a lot when I was younger. I did. I
tennis.
enjoyed playing tennis.
I still.
It's a fun game to play.
Still to this day, believe that tennis was a reason why I could probably hit a baseball.
Is that right?
I feel that the motions of what it takes to hit a tennis ball in between the lines help me understand how to manipulate my body.
Oh, wow.
If you think about a forehand and a backhand
Yeah.
and what you're supposed to do and what you're not using, you don't use elbows and wrists, right? That's rollover in baseball. That's flair.
Yeah.
And if you're using your shoulders to work, that's what you have to do to hit through a tennis ball to keep it between the lines. And so I think it helped me become a better baseball player. And then table tennis, right? Playing ping pong
I love ping pong,
again, going tennis, ping pong.
Yeah.
I feel like those things help me. Hand-eye coordination, all of it.
Yep.
See
Play
that?
ping pong.
We just hit that on the nail.
bro.
It's another dinger.
Dang.
That's like our 4th dinger of the day.
We got 4 today.
And
4 dingers.
we have 5 minutes.
We have 5 counting, don't we?
Counting dingers? No, I don't want you to count my dingers because then you're gonna count my offers.
No, we don't have to.
Oh,
we only count dingers.
Oh, I'll have my mom keep stats for me. That way I can keep batting like 1,000 with an OPS of 1,500.
Oh, mercy. Let's talk baseball.
Thanks, Mom.
I was looking at some of the teams, St. Louis County, basically, out there. St. Louis Prospects, St. Louis Redbirds, the Recruits, Naturals, Gamers, St. Louis Legacy, Rawlings Tigers, Adidas Athletics. We were looking at some of these teams, and I was looking to see, what we're looking at coming into the season. I'm looking here, the Recruits team, 14
What are you looking at? Game7baseball.com?
I'm looking at game7baseball.com.
Okay, just making sure. So our fans knew.
And and the fans, they know. Because here's one of the things, too. I look at this because these are and we're not pushing off other teams. We'll come back to some of this. But I'm looking at this right now because these are teams that we'll probably be seeing through the season, and I want to get familiar with them. I want to talk about some of these guys. And Recruits out of High Ridge, Missouri, Coach Brian Knott, they were 12-0 in the fall. And I think that's pretty good, man. I don't care what you say. That's pretty good right there.
Yeah, and they start out at the AA level, right? And I think finished the season or somewhere in between, had challenged their group to play a AAA event and went undefeated there as well.
Spencer,
another dinger.
I know that I'm going to butcher this name. Werndl, maybe. Spencer Werndl. Henry Blumenkemper. Logan Chrisman. These guys are giving me some challenges right here. Caleb Knott, Blake Warren, Luke Holmes, Dominic Pagano, Austin Brinkley, Caden Martin, Maddox Sutton, Brendan Phillips, Colin North, Jackson Sindler.
That's a good roster.
How many kids?
13.
13. I like that at 14.
I think that's a good number. I had 14 kids last year. It becomes tough to manage, but I ran it like they were preparing for high school, so I played 9 bat 9 kind of thing. And we had some injuries throughout the season. We had some arm issues throughout the season. We had some vacations. So having that number allows you to have a good weekend, and not so much Game 7, but in some other events, maybe for these top level teams that are traveling and things like that, they have to play Thursday through Sunday in the summer times. So having 14 kids, maybe 1 or 2 more, is important to your staff so that you can get through a weekend, because some of these events don't let your kids throw
right
again, and so you throw a guy on Thursday, he's not pitching on Sunday necessarily.
We got St. Louis, a couple of St. Louis prospect teams here. Nick Post, Double A squad. Tyler, I'm going to butcher that. There's no way.
Just call him TK. We call him TK.
Clythermus. Sorry if I butchered it. Cole Mann, John Seabolt, Noah Johnson, Michael, MJ. I love that. MJ, baby. Right on, dude. Michael Land, Logan Sheets, Daniel Warren, Rick Stanley, Colton Post, Braden Stringer, Mason Sabin, and Miles Payne. Bringing the pain. Love that. That's what see, that's me. I'd just be bringing the pain. We're bringing pain with us.
Remember when I said you weren't that cool?
I am cool, baby. That's the way it rolls.
I'm just kidding.
That's the way it rolls.
That was mean.
Down here, so that's you got St. Louis Prospects Red, Coach Jeremy Spakogi. I'm gonna go with that. Braden Spakogi is right at the top there. Sam Flo, Colin Applebaum, Braden Mears, Jake Kolb, Wesley Miller, Will Haddocks, Mark Wolf, Davis Rashman, Carter Hall, Michael Sin, Keaton Young. I'm going to name off a bunch of these here. Just having some fun.
When you
here.
saw
Looking at
coaches,
some of these rosters, I think it's cool.
When you looked at the name of that previous coach, my first thought was Spicoli. I know that it clearly wasn't it.
I didn't think so.
Oh,
I didn't think. I don't
well,
think
just
so,
the way that the first 5 letters.
And here's one too. I didn't have on the at the logo out, but we should have, and I forget about that, and I shouldn't, because I always think St. Louis Force. That's where my mind goes, because originally that, but it's U.S. Nationals. We'll get to that here in a second. But Rawlings Tigers, Steinman 14 UAA team out of Grover, Missouri. I don't know where Grover is. Do you know where Grover is?
No clue.
I'm not quite sure.
But the magic of Google.
We're going to find out. Now, here's a roster for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 again. I like that.
I think it's a fantastic number.
I love what the coaches are doing. Get a couple guys that are pitchers only. There's nothing wrong with that. Let's set these kids up for success moving into high school if you really think that's what they're going to be. Ben Fisher, Jonick Donatelli, Eli Boss, Uriah Reardon, Keegan Hunady, Owen Ring, Austin Ford, Henry Steinman, Bryce Mullen, Christian Ruda, Brady McGuire, Avery Bortner, and Gavin Kohler.
I wonder if the Donatelli kid is if they are part of the Donatelli's restaurants that are out in Lake St. Louis. I know that they're from Grover, which is, I guess, in Wildwood. Looks like it appears to be on Old Manchester Road.
Old Manchester.
Did I say Old Man?
You did.
Old Manchester.
Old Manchester. It's still right.
Old
You're
Manchester.
Still right.
Old Manchester. Yeah. I had to say it not so slow.
I love it.
I was creating patience. It's incorporated into Wildwood.
Okay.
So I guess they tend Rockwood.
Now, I'm gonna put this out there. Hopefully we can do this. I wonder if this is the gentleman. This would be curious. Matt Althage. Now, there's a Matt Althage I know from the St. Louis Umpire Association. And I wonder, he was the president for a while. I wonder if it's the same gentleman. It'd be curious. Matt Althage. So if you're out there, Matt, and you're watching this, and it's you, say howdy. Throw down in the comment there. That'd be cool. Patrick Bergen, Chase Bernard. Here's another one. It looks like we got maybe 15 here, Mitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
Good number.
I love these lineups with these kids.
Let me ask you this question, because obviously we're seeing a little bit deeper rosters here
at this 14U level.
At the 14U level, do you think that this is the beginning of POs, this age group, or do you still think that
I think it could be. I think and I don't think it's a bad thing, and not that the kids couldn't play and that the coach won't get them, some at bats. But understanding that, some of these kids, and we had this conversation with Kevin Mulder on the other side, in the high school side. You know, yeah, in high school, you'll probably play. There's some kids that will play both ways depending upon what high school you go to. That doesn't mean that these kids won't get at bats or play. But if they're willing to accept the fact that, hey, they're going to get a start and maybe sit a game, and I don't think that's a bad thing. If you're a really good pitcher at the 14U level, but you still want to get some at bats and the coach needs you, and you got kids that are rotating, it's okay to have that day off or that game off after you've thrown. And this kind of roster, I think, gives the coaches the ability to sit that kid for a game.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think it is impactful on that roster big time, and just because of the way I experienced and ran my rosters last year, that's what we did. Now, let me ask a follow-up question to that. If you have a young man that is kind of starting that PO route that cannot maybe compete at this level, do you have a problem if they participate in a recreational league to get some extra reps, even if it maybe falls on a practice day?
Well, I don't think that should be a coach's. You can't do that. It's a kid, man. Let him go play baseball. Those are things to me that I think I don't even know, and I understand why you guys don't give it. But to me, it's a moot point. You know, if you're talking about a high level kid throwing 80-some miles an hour, no, don't go play recreational baseball.
Well, I'm not sure they're also playing on a AA level team if they're throwing on that level as well. But I just look at this as
you
saying,
never know. You never know because there may be work and that's the team he wants to play for. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
That's true.
As long as you're getting developed.
Because guys do
right?
play for there are athletes out there that will play for just coaches because of the coach itself, right? And so the development side of it, things like you just said. So I understand that piece. I mean, I do have a couple of young kids that are 15 years old that are flirting with that 80 miles an hour right now, and that's it. I don't have a deep enough roster to compete at a super high level at the 15U age group, but I feel like I can be pretty competitive with that group.
And here's the other thing too: you got a AA squad here, let's say, and you got a kid that's at 14 starting to flirt with 80 and getting above that, but he's playing with the kids he likes to play with. You know what? There'll be high school. There'll be that other opportunity if he continues to grow. You still have 15, 16, 17 after this. Mm-hmm. So I think those are things that as long as he's being taken care of and developed correctly and all the things are good, enjoy the game. Play baseball for the fun of it.
If he goes out and plays in a rec league on a Tuesday, do you let him pitch? If he just pitched on, say, a Friday?
Well, but is that pitcher really going there to pitch? He
should be going there to play defense.
He's going to swing the bat.
Yeah, he's trying to get better. That's what to me. That's what it kind of shows me.
Protect yourself. Don't do silly things. But
played 100%.
You can't. If you're going to worry about injury, you're
going to get injured.
Agreed. That's just the way it is. And I think here's another. But Matt Althage's group here: Patrick Burgoon, Chase Bernard, Carter Bushman, Eddie Huckstep, Ian Carpenter, Aiden Gilgum, I think it is. That's an L, yes. Tyler Young, Max Schmidt, Luke Dunscombe, Lucas Althage, Will Powles, Landon Taylor, Austin Kovac, and Andrew Harrison. So that's a good roster. I like.
If you could pick one name from that group to be a big league name, what would it be? Is there always like names like a stubby clap? Yeah.
Kovac just kind of rings, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's like that's the one. I have no idea if the kid's any good or not, but you just feel like when you get to the next level, it's like that's a name. You know what I mean?
There's your team, but we're not in.
That's not my team. That's
it's not
Jamal's.
Your team. It's Jamal. Yeah, but we'll do that another time.
Yeah, we don't have a deep roster there right now.
So
we need guys.
U.S. Nationals, Steve Wind. He's got a decent, looks
13.
like 12-13 again. I love this. Harper Burns, Cale Beeman, Ryan Laboube, I guess. Laboube, Boube. Now there's one that would be a big league roster name. Braden Wind, Bishop Jones, Henry Mannion. I'd say that's what it is. Nathan Rutz, Chase Lambert, Lucas Passmore, Caleb Giamalva, Ari Litt, Braden Carter. Boy, these kids are killing me here. It's not their fault. I mean, it's just the name. Ivan Lassiter.
It's just their name.
Woo,
No
it's
big
just
deal.
their
It's just
name.
their name.
I'm
All right.
hoping. I'm butchering some stuff up here, bro.
Passmore has to be a basketball player.
You think so?
Has to be.
Passmore, yeah. So there you go. St. Louis Naturals here. They didn't play, don't have anything from the fall, but St. Louis Naturals, Todd Scott's squad. I don't see a roster there yet, so we don't have any information there. But there's a look at some teams coming up from the recruits. I don't see any gamers in here. We saw some Naturals, some prospects, recruits. I don't see a legacy. If you got some teams there, let's the St. Louis Legacy. I believe that's over here.
Yeah, I'm not sure the Gamers have a 14U team that's at like AA level group.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so. I know that they have a good 13U team, a really good 13U.
Well, the
team.
recruits, as far as teams are concerned, you're talking, down here, they got 3 14U teams. Of course, Dave Wiggins' national team, that's as for real as it gets. I mean, you're talking about some kids with some real opportunity. We don't have the roster. I've seen it. He posted that on Twitter, and I saw that, and I was like, man, that's a true national team. I think they're going to have to play outside. They'll probably play around here a little bit. There's competition, don't get me wrong. But he's going to put those kids on a national, and that's why it's called national.
Yeah, I think there's a prospect scout team at that 14U age group too that's pretty solid. I could be thinking maybe the 13U team that's the prospects, but there's going to be a few teams in here that are going to compete regionally for sure. At this 14U age group. And it's exciting to see, as obviously being a high school coach and being able to see these kids now start to develop at the 14U age group, which, last year was my first year coaching that age group. Mm-hmm. And so I started to get invested a little bit differently because now I'm going to see these young men in a couple years at the varsity level. So I'm trying to pay attention to, how do I get these kids out in 2 years? Maybe some of them a little bit sooner. Not too many. Sure, there's too many Leo Humberts out there at the 14U age group, going to be freshmen in high school in the future. But I want to get these kids out, so I'm starting to pay a little bit different attention than I used to.
Right, and here's the other thing. Here's a couple of programs. The Adidas Athletics. We see them a little bit here and there, but for the most part, you've got. They have a youth program, but we don't see many teams, 14U, 6U to 14U. Don't see much of the teams there. I'd love to get to know a little bit more about those, but we don't have just a roster or anything of that nature here. So it's okay. It's all right. The Rawlings Tigers, though, when you talk about teams, man, in Missouri, they got them, Columbia, Kansas City, Lee Summit, St. Louis. Let's take a little bit of the St. Louis approach here. 14U, you've got, we saw Steinman, but you're talking about Underwood, Dix, Greger, Hers, Holman, Creekmeyer, Rollo. We know those teams. So black is the highest level. So you've got 3 14U teams that are black. Orange, it looks like, is the mid-level, which is probably maybe AA pushing on AAA. White is probably a AA squad. I don't see any white in the 14U. It's either orange or black. You got 5 orange squads, and I think those are spread out pretty good. So, and Creekmeyer's team's pretty good as well. That's a solid team. I'm looking forward to seeing, with Midland as well. And I didn't put them on the deal there. Sorry, Matt. My bad, dude. But we're not going to talk Midland because they're not in St. Louis County. There you go. We're only clubbing in St. Louis right now, bro.
I see what you did there.
You like that?
That's a good save. That was a good save. Well done, sir.
St. Louis Redbirds. You don't here's one you don't hear a lot about. For middle school, 14U Nike Prime. Hopefully, we're going to take a look, and we don't see any roster information. Oh, we got some roster information here. I love that. I love it when they do this. This is fun stuff for me. You're talking about here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Here we go again. So I think these clubs are starting to really look at that. Because before you would see 10 guys on a 14U roster. Am I wrong?
No. And I'm not sure the why. I've always believed in having deep rosters. I think it creates competition at practice. I think that you have the ability to run better practices when you have guys at positions. Because if you have 2 or 3 kids and you have 10 kids and something comes up, you have 2 kids that can't miss or miss practice. You have 8 guys. How do you run an effective practice on bunt coverages and first and thirds and things like that, and just building the IQ side of the sport up? To me, it's a struggle.
And here's the other part of this too, Matt. When you're looking at this, when you see position 1, there's
you just called me Matt.
I did, Mitch. Sorry. Well,
he's 0 for 1. No dinger.
See, that's where you talk without your brain engaging.
See, you should have used
Mitch. I know.
Should have followed your mind.
Oh, jeez. But you look here, bud.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I'm not staring at you anymore. I'm going to stare right awkwardly at the camera the whole time.
You got to look.
Smile. Nope. I got to do it.
Eli Hall, his first position is a right-handed pitcher, then center field, right field. So if you're looking at that, I mean, that's his thought process geared toward pitching.
Yeah, pitch first.
Yeah. So, but then you got guys second position, 1, 2, 3 guys in their second position as pitchers. So you got 4 kids that potentially are looking at pitcher only as they move forward. I think in that, if you're looking at it from that perspective.
Yeah, I mean, I look at like my roster and I try to, construct it, and I'm looking at guys. Okay, I have kids that are probably more positional guys than they are pitching, but I have like 8 pitchers on my team that are all secondary pitchers and probably will play more positions for their high school. So my roster is built a little different. I didn't do that on purpose. We had a good tryout at that age group a couple years ago, and I kept the majority of my team together. So I don't know that I have anybody really leading into a PO on my group.
Yeah.
But I do have guys like Titus. He's going to be a kid that's going to be a good arm for me. Alex Fields. Those are guys that I expect to do good things for us, that are returning guys. Some of the new guys will do a good job too. But Titus isn't going to be a PO. He can hit. He can play first. He plays a heck of a first base.
Yeah.
He's even pretty darn good in the outfield. So he's going to be listed as my first pitcher, though, because he's going to be one of my arms. He's going to be one of my guys on the bump. So I might label him as that. So sometimes I look at that and go, are they trying to trick me? That they ain't got no good starters. They just got a bunch of arms like I do. But
you never know. You don't.
There ain't no secret.
It'll be interesting.
Should be no secret.
They're going to be out at the Memorial Day Classic with Game 7 at Ozzie, so try to get out there and watch this team. Noah Barr, Eli Hall, Brendan Donovan.
It's a big league name.
Right? It's a big league name.
Already.
Robbie Cox, Michael Dwyer. I was thinking Bobby Cox, too.
It's just a name.
Just pulls. Tommy Gersh, Brennan Stagel. Or Stiegel, I guess.
Is that a Gersh?
Stegall. Gersh, yeah, it's Girsch.
I wonder if he's Gersh's son or something. It's not a common name, is it?
No, I don't know who you're referring to.
GM for the Cardinals.
Oh. I don't know. Maybe.
Just saying.
Playing for the Redbirds.
It makes sense.
Just saying. James Berry, Ben Landy, Will Minkler, Tommy Goodman,
Tom Goodman.
Schumel.
What a good actor.
Miles Settler. Pretty good stuff right there. They got a few 14U teams. That's the prime team for the Redbirds right there. They got Nike Elite and Nike Select. I don't know which is the top team.
I'm going to go with Prime.
You think Prime's the top team? I would say you're probably correct.
Just because it's listed first.
Yeah.
And then you're kind of seeing the follow suit on some of the other entries. So I'm going Prime.
Yeah, and we're going to get back to some of these teams.
So, Basta, you could tell me if I'm wrong.
And Select. We're running out of a little bit of time here. We'll come back to some of these. I want to get to some of these
Basta's
rosters. Yeah. EJ Basta?
Yeah, it runs Redbirds, correct?
Yeah, we did. We did a winter workout tour stop there. It's been a few years now. It was before all COVID and all that stuff. Really enjoyed that. They know where their lane is. They state they work hard with it. I think they've done a great job with that program over there, and they keep working hard.
I got my first experience with the Basta that group, Sam and EJ, was playing adult baseball, and I can remember going up against them guys, and just at the time, they got released from playing professional baseball or whatever, and they come out there, and I'm just like this fat old guy just wanting to play baseball against some 20-somethings, and EJ can throw it.
Yeah.
He's pretty good. I mean, I got him once, but I think he's got me 10 times. So not doing great. But they had an electric group. They were the Angels, I think they were, when they played the adult baseball. We played at Ellisville and stuff like that. And I can remember they had guys that just flat through gas, high 80s. Some of the guys through 90s and stuff like that. And we played some great baseball games against them because we had a fastball hitting team. And, what do you have as an ego when you can throw a 90-mile-an-hour fastball? You're going to try to challenge.
Chuck it up there, baby.
Yeah, and then they realized after a while, though, they can't hit the curveball. So I got a couple of good ones. I sent a couple fastballs out the park, but that's a good group. I like the Basta family. And I think they are related to Gas House is Basta. I think that's a cousins or something of the.
Is it
from Gas House?
Okay, all right.
Those are Rittner guys that
all family. Huh?
Yeah, that I play.
It's
ball
interesting.
With.
It's see how many people are connected that way.
It's funny that we talk about such a large community of in this sport. Sometimes we complain about there's too many teams, but really it's a small world when it comes to this. You're like, hey, and then everything kind of has a full circle, with the sport. And that's why I keep telling people is experiencing on this show, having conversations with some of these directors or, coaches or some of these instructors from these programs that are leading these teams. There is a lot of common thought process that's happening amongst the groups. And common actions that from the thoughts. You see what I did there?
I saw that.
Okay, perfect.
I heard it actually.
Anyways, I just love what is happening on this show for me personally as a getting to know people and just expand my knowledge is in learning from these folks. And so it's exciting. Go out, pay attention to what they're doing to this show, because that's just another way that we can vet these coaches. And I think it's cool to start to recognize some of these players' names at this age group.
Absolutely.
Because these are kids you're going to see on PBR and Perfect Games and high school stuff soon.
And down there, I should have done this sooner. It's my fault. Got to get this into, but Prime Sports Midwest down in Champions Village. Rick Benz runs that place down there. They have come on as they're one of our partners. If you're looking for some gear, if you're looking for team uniforms, if you're looking for another sport, football, hockey, basketball, check out primesportsmw.com, primesportsmidwest.com. But it's the MW. Don't spell out the Midwest, just primesportsmw.com. Go check out their lineup there. Baseballs galore. You got to get ready. Get all your gear ready for the spring season. If you're a coach, you need some lineup cards or whatever the case. A little bit
of everything. They're down in Fenton, correct? It's down in Fenton.
They are in Fenton.
We actually use them for our team stores, and so great. Web page setup and everything that they did. It was very easy.
So you get the fan gear and all that.
Yeah,
as well?
Yep. And
Very
that's how we utilized Prime and stuff like that. So we did just a team store, but we also had like practice gear that we required for the kids to buy. And so they kind of highlighted that, like this you must buy, this it's up to you if you wanted to buy it. So it's much more elaborate on the website than I just explained. But quick turnaround time for the most part. They communicate with you very well. You have the opportunity to go pick it up. They will ship it, but it's down in Fenton if you go pick that up. But they've been fantastic to work with. They're, if something's out of stock, they tell you right away. They don't wait, a couple weeks go by. What I liked about their team store, though, it's continuous.
Yeah.
So as you order, they send out your order. So if you go pick up, you go pick it up, but it never really shuts down.
Yeah.
With some of the other ones, you got 2 weeks to buy all your gear. Well, what happens if that falls after a pay week or, you don't have the money that week? So I like that the store is kind of always open and they ship when it's done.
There you go.
They don't wait for the whole order to be done.
There you go. Testimonial. Right,
well, that's
there.
just the experience I've had with
That's
them.
what I mean. That testimonial right there.
You know what I mean? It just
absolutely, bud.
if they haven't
I didn't
failed,
know you guys used them.
yeah, they haven't got anything wrong for
go.
us so far. So, I've had some. Yeah, no pressure now, buddy. Come on, Rick, make it happen. Don't do anything wrong. Please don't. That's like I will tell you that that is by far as a club owner, I despise uniforms.
I love them.
No, I love them when they wear them.
Oh,
I hate the process. And I know that's
it's
a
just
strong word.
Part of the gig, baby.
No, it's not. No, it's
You
not.
gotta have a uniform to play. What, are you gonna go out there in your blue jeans and t-shirt?
That's what my dad did. And
His-
he coached in
with
whites,
his- hey.
in his painting whites,
With his
boots on.
PF flyers?
No, with combat boots that he'd get from Walmart or something, the brown tan ones, and then he'd roll a cigarette pack up in his arm sleeves, and he'd coach out on the field.
We're in the sand lot right now.
Oh, this is what I loved it. Like, oh my God, the pants were terrible. Now uniforms are such a pain, and especially when you're in a large organization. Because I would always take the pressure of doing it myself, so I do the fittings, all of that. And what I've learned we're going back to Prime. Again, they put it up there for you. Every parent goes up and orders that, and then it gets shipped to them. So much better way of doing things than trying to go through them and let me take on everything and then sort and oh man.
We're going to talk some more
Uniforms.
about
Not uniforms.
clubbing in St. Louis next week, because there's some of these we didn't quite get to as much as I'd like to have. But St. Louis prospects, St. Louis Redbirds, recruits, baseball, the U.S. Nationals, as they're moving, St. Louis Naturals. The gamers, it's kind of hard because you don't see their stuff online. That's the way they are. It's fine. St. Louis Legacy, Rawlings Tigers, Adidas Athletics, kind of the same thing. You don't see the stuff online. Maybe I'll reach out to Nick and get some rosters. Maybe shoot me some stuff so we can talk about it online.
So, yeah, especially if they got some guys that are some dudes.
Yeah, I'd love to.
If they got any PBR rankings and things like that, maybe that's a
coaches watching, directors of these programs. If we'd love to talk about your rosters, your 14U. That's what we're really focusing on with this right now as we head into that. Love to talk about your squads. Please.
We're going to be out seeing them.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to watch them play. So if you got some highlights of some kids that might be in your championship game picture, give us a little feedback on that so that we can have that conversation.
And that's the thing.
On
We're
there.
going to be revealing our events that we will be participating in with Game 7 Baseball. We will be broadcasting live with our crew. We will be calling the games. We'll have interviews and all that kind of stuff. We try to make it a lot of fun as a championship event should be.
Who's going to be the crew this year? Is Justin coming out of retirement?
We'll get to that.
Oh, see, I'm creating drama.
Don't create
Family drama.
Hey, everybody.
Lauren, are you coming out?
Remember, we got to do this. Hang on.
Okay.
We got to subscribe. Hit that dinger next to it. Once you've subscribed, hit the dinger, because that's what we do around here, right?
Yeah, all day.
All day.
Hit dingers.
Exactly. That gets you all your notifications for upcoming episodes. I'm sorry I cut you off. I got to take care of business here.
I get it. My phone was going off on dinger alerts from here. So
we got to make sure that we get
just
that.
went off again.
If you like what we're doing, please hit the like button. That helps the algorithm. Share it out with your friends. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button. We appreciate all that. We appreciate the support. We want to continue to do so much. We got some great stuff coming up with high school baseball previews, GAC. We got more youth club previews coming up. It's go time.
It's go time. The Twitter thing that you just posted about the preseason 2023 high school stuff, man, the GACs are representing big time.
Whew, that's some serious baseball, baby.
I will tell anybody that is watching this show, you go pick a conference game of the week and go watch the GACs, and you are going to watch high-level baseball. So if you are this 14-year age group that we're looking at, go out and see what you're competing at or with in the future, and I think it'll be fun to watch.
Dude, we're looking at some matchups, say a Naputi and a Hatchman, or a Hatchman and a Lane Harris. You've got, I know I'm missing kids.
Oh, yeah, you're going to miss a lot of kids.
Kenton Deverman, Zumwalt West. I mean,
who dominated us last year.
Rubel out at Howell Central, the same, and then there's some kids we're probably not seeing. You got
Holtz lefty.
Hosack
that competes very well.
Oh, man, exactly. Not to mention, then you got behind, you still have Yarberry, and you got the Connor McCaleb.
Yeah, which hasn't had an opportunity much because he's been injured. But we have Will Minch. Timberland has some guys that are going to compete. We will compete. It's just make sure you have the buy-in, right? And that's the goal for this year, is to get that buy-in.
I think it's going to be interesting. And that's, so check out the power rankings there, as Mitch alluded to. We did the show last week with that. We're going to finish up the GAC. We're going to do the rest of the GAC as far as our power rankings are concerned. That's coming up in a couple weeks. We're going to be out this week. We're going to be at Ace Baseball Development. We're going to be on location. Looking forward to that. So we got a lot of great stuff coming up. A lot of fun stuff, man. And not to mention, we're going to be at the Hitting Zone, MLK Day, the hitting camp with Justin Dearden. So we'll have that. We'll have all of that on Tuesday for the show. So we got some fun stuff, baby.
We still got some ability to sign up, too. We're running out of space. It is filling up quick. And we're going to have some fun stuff there to give away. So,
cool beans.
Is that me?
He's dinging. He's Siri. Signing up, Siri.
Yeah, we signed up Siri. I don't know why my phone listens to me so much.
But anyway.
Justin is a fantastic dude. We got great coaches out there working. Myself will be out there. We'll have fun with some trivia that we always start with. So make sure you follow up with some knowledge on Justin. And we do have some fun giveaways for the event. It's a 2-hour camp.
There you go.
We'll partner up with you to come out there and have some fun.
We'll bring the cameras and talk to kids and talk with Justin. That's always the fun stuff.
I think the kids are going to be more fun than all the adults that'll be there. I think they're going to love the camera.
The kids are great.
Yeah, I can see that.
Until they have to talk on the camera, they always, and they're like.
We have everybody from 8 to 14s, and so it's a large mix of kids, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun day.
So we got a lot of great stuff coming up. Make sure you're subscribed. Stay tuned. We appreciate your support. Everybody, have a great day in the Lord. Always, pitchers, keep throwing strikes, and hitters,
keep it fair.
That's good advice too. We'll see y'all next time.